September 17th, 2025, 5:30 p.m. Before we begin, I would like to make a brief statement. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, perfect. I know there's some strong feelings in the community right now, especially about some recent changes with the water rates. The board understands these concerns, and I want to acknowledge them at the start of the meeting. Our responsibility is to operate the Lakes Area Conservancy District fairly, legally, and responsibly. That means making decisions that keep our water system safe, reliable, and financially sound. Sometimes those decisions are difficult, but every dollar collected stays here right in this district to maintain and improve the system that we all depend on. For tonight's meeting, please remember that public comment is only available to those who submitted ahead of time to be placed on the agenda. The reason why we do this is because the process helps the meeting stay orderly and ensures fairness to everyone. We may not all leave in full agreement, but we will leave with clear understanding of issues and of each other. With that, I will proceed with the roll call. Christian, when you hear your name, say present. Christian?
Present.
Connie?
Present.
Walt?
Present.
Michael?
Present.
Richard?
Present.
Chad?
Present.
All right, let the record show that we have a quorum. First order of business, we have the approval of the minutes from the public hearing held on August 20th, 25. Do I have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chair, I would like to make that motion, and at the same time, I would move that we approve all three sets of minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any problem with approving all three? Approval of minutes for the public hearing, the board meeting, and, and the public hearing, board meeting, and special board meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, well, let's see what we have. On next on the agenda, we have attorney report. Attorney Charles Parkinson will now present the budget findings.
So, as a conservancy district, which proposes as part of its budget to levy tax, we're required to hold a budget hearing, and as part of that process, you may receive a petition to appeal that tax levy, so long as it's signed by at least 10 freeholders within the district within 7 days of the public hearing. So you held your public hearing on August 20th, as you indicated, and thereafter there was a timely petition to appeal the tax levy filed by a sufficient number of freeholders. So what happens next under the statute is that the board is to consider, as part of adopting its budget, findings in response to the petition. It's part of Indiana code. So what I've done with the assistance of your staff here in reviewing the minutes and the petition that was filed, have proposed some findings that you should be considering adopting as part of your adoption of the resolution on your 2026 budget. So if you can bear with me, I'm going to read through those proposed findings, and at the conclusion of reading through those, if the board has questions, I will attempt to answer those. So let me start out by saying, on August 20, 2025, the Board of Directors of the Valparaiso Lakes Area Conservancy District held a public hearing on the matter of the adoption of a budget for fiscal year 2026. 2 freeholders appeared at the meeting and provided comments. 1 freeholder submitted written materials. Thereafter, on August 27, 2025, a group of freeholders within the VLACD, and we'll call them remonstrators, filed a petition to appeal property tax levy, we'll call that a petition, containing objections to the budget with the Indiana Department of Local Government Finance. Being duly advised, the Board of Directors of the VLACD now adopts the following findings in accordance with Indiana Code 6-1.1-17-5C. At the public hearing, one remonstrator questioned how notice of the public hearing on the budget was provided. The VLACD staff stated the publication of the notice of the public hearing is provided by the Indiana Department of Local Government Finance as provided by statute. In addition, copies of the notice of public hearing were posted in 2 prominent places at the principal office of the VLACD. First, it is axiomatic that remonstrators who appear at a public hearing cannot contest a lack of notice. In advance of public hearing on a proposed budget, the Indiana Conservancy District is required to follow the same procedures as municipalities according to Indiana Code 1433-9-1A2. That process includes submitting information to the DLGF through its gateway portal. The DLGF then provides this information to taxpayers through its gateway system at least 10 days prior to the public hearing, according to Indiana Code 6-1.1-17-3. The meeting itself complied with the Indiana Open Door Law, as notice of the meeting was posted at both the principal office location of the VLACD and at the place of the meeting. Next, let's go through some of the specific findings on the substance of the remonstrance. The petition states as follows: we object to the large contingency appropriations in the budget and to the board's unwillingness to use existing fund balances to reduce or eliminate the need for a property tax levy. We believe the levy is excessive, unnecessary, and will place an undue burden on taxpayers. We submit that it was not prepared in accordance with Indiana Code. The substance of the objection is explained in written materials that were submitted at the public hearing and have been included with the petition. Those specific substantive objections are addressed as follows. Number 1, the petition states that the inflated budgets hide the truth. The remonstrators contend that the proposed budget contains $200,000 in, quote, vague other contractual services with no specific proposed budget, proposed project identified by the board. Item 1 of the petition characterizes this as a contingency appropriation and requests that it be reduced to not more than 10% of the budget. In response, the remonstrators mischaracterized the, quote, other contractual services, close quote, as a, quote, contingency, close quote, which it is not. For that reason, the limitation imposed by Indiana Code 1433-8-2B does not apply. The line item in the budget is for stormwater projects approved by the board as part of a 5-year plan. These stormwater projects were approved based on 2023 estimates, even though pricing has increased since that time. At the public hearing, a remonstrator also questioned the increase in the amount budgeted for legal services from $17,000 in 2025 to $25,000 in 2026. These numbers are lower than the $40,000 budgeted for 2024. The amount budgeted in 2025, $17,000, was an overcorrection from 2024. The board believes that the $25,000 budgeted for 2026 more accurately reflects anticipated expenditures for legal service expenses, which are expected to be incurred by the VLACD in 2026. So again, the item that is identified in the budget as other contractual services is $200,000 that is for stormwater projects that this board has already approved in 2023. Item number 2 in the remonstrance. Indiana code requires lower taxes when funds are sufficient. The remonstrators contend that Indiana Code 143393 requires the VLACD to apply $492,000 from the previous year's revenue to offset operating and maintenance expenses in 2026. Here's the response. Indiana Code 143393A and B states as follows. A, the board shall deduct from the operation and maintenance expenses estimated under section 2 of this chapter the following. 1, any revenue actually received during the current year. 2, any money not obligated to pay or protecting the bonds or notes of the district. Subsection B, the board shall carry forward the balance after making the deduction required by subsection A. For 2026, the board has estimated the operational and maintenance expenses as follows. For personal services, $88,900. For supplies, $2,000. For services and charges, $335,500. For capital outlays, $8,000. That totals $434,400. Tax revenue received in 2025 is capped by the maximum levy advertised in the 2025 budget, which is $268,716, which leaves a shortfall that must necessarily be recouped through water rates or other sources. The VLACD must necessarily choose between a slightly higher tax levy and increased water rates. Your water rates are set by ordinance. The operations funded by tax revenues also includes stormwater services, which are not currently subsidized by rates, unlike other communities, including the city of Valparaiso, which imposes a monthly stormwater. And I'm informed that that monthly stormwater bill in the city limits is $12.50 per month. Item number 3 of the remonstrance. Cash revenues keep growing while taxes keep rising. The remonstrators assert that cash revenues have increased from $562,889 in 2020 to over $1 million, and that property taxes have risen 81% over the last 12 years. In response, the VLACD owns and operates all of the infrastructure located within the boundaries of the Conservancy District. For that reason, the VLACD must necessarily maintain certain cash reserves sufficient to be able to repair aging infrastructure without the need to borrow or bond to fund repairs and improvements. And I've had discussions, just as an aside, I've had discussions with your staff about whether the VLACD is required or is advised to maintain any particular rainy day fund or cash balance. That is not something that your current financial advisors counsel you on. It probably should be recommended. All of the infrastructure in the district is yours. It's yours to maintain. That means if it breaks, you fix it. And if you don't have the funds to fix it, you can't immediately raise rates. You have to go through a process, doing a rate study, holding a public hearing, and adopting an ordinance. You also can't immediately bond for the repair of that infrastructure. You could float a bond issue, but that takes time. So again, having a sufficient cash reserve is critical in order to repair any of the aging infrastructure that we've got. Second, the relevant inquiry into the property tax increase should be limited to the 2026 budget, which proposes a 4% increase from 2025. As indicated in the response to item number 2, the maximum levy proposed for 2026 will still fall short of the amount of revenue necessary for the budget estimate. The increase in the tax levy amounts to a total among all ratepayers, all freeholders in the district, of $10,748, which will be apportioned to more than 900 freeholders located within the VLACD based upon assessed value. The fourth item in the remonstrance was no plan to spend cumulative fund taxes. In response, the remonstrators are referring to the Cumulative Conservancy Improvement Fund special benefits tax, which is imposed pursuant to Indiana Code 1433-21-5. This fund and the special benefits tax imposed was established as part of the district plan as allowed by Indiana Code 1433-31-2. By law, these funds may be used for additional construction or repair of the VLACD infrastructure. The purposes for which the fund may be used are set forth in the district plan. So those are the proposed findings. You took your public comment on the budget. You're not obligated to take public comment on the budget. The only thing you're obligated to do, if you choose to adopt the budget that was proposed, is to adopt findings along with the budget. So with that, I'll conclude my remarks on the budget and the findings.
Thank you. All right, we'll proceed with the budget vote with roll call. This is for the approval of the budget with roll call,
Along with the findings.
along with the findings. Thank you. Christian Anderson. Aye. Connie Hughes.
Aye.
Walter.
Aye.
Michael.
Aye.
Richard.
Are we having any discussion on this at all?
We are not.
It's just a yes or no vote, no discussion?
Correct.
I vote no.
Chad.
Aye.
All right, well, the budget and the, yeah, sorry, Chair, aye. I got Mike.
And then resolution number 25-1.
Yes. We will then proceed with attorney's report.
First of all, to all you folks in the audience, hello. My name is Chuck Parkinson. I'm an attorney in Chesterton. I'm with the law firm of Harris, Walsh & Lukeman. Dave Hollenbeck is a friend, a colleague, and I think I speak on behalf of the board when I say that the Valparaiso Lakes Area Conservancy District owes him a great debt of gratitude. I guarantee you that I will not serve as long as but, well, if I did, I'd be 106 when I retire. But anyway, so thank you for welcoming me here. To the board, I know that there are some things that you've asked Dave to do, and I don't know precisely where he might be in any of those tasks, but I'm gonna take those up as if you just handed them off to me, okay? And I know that one of those topics is discussions perhaps with the city of Valparaiso concerning the services that we buy from the city. And I'm more than happy to take that task on, and I will take direction from your board and your board chair in terms of what you want me to do, okay? I know that's a matter of great concern for the freeholders here in the district. I know there are some other matters that I probably need to dig into, and I've discussed those with Alicia. and hope to get on those soon. So, again, thank you for, you know, contracting with us and showing your, I guess, thank you for welcoming me, and thanks to the board for showing support for our offering. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you. All right, so now I need a motion for resolution 25-2 to approve transfer general fund from 101-00131 training and education to 101-001-221 other supplies for $5,000.
So moved.
I second it.
Any discussion on that?
Yeah, what is the purpose of that?
Dale, do you have any comment on that?
Yes, as I explained before the meeting, that is for stormwater supplies. We have to buy more riprap to put around those drains. We also, if you notice, sealed the parking lot, trying to make it a little better without having to go out and re-asphalt everything. Our employees did that. On very hot days, I might add. That's what that is for, Richard.
Thank you, Dale. You got a question?
Yeah, I see in next year's budget, we've left that other supplies totally out. Should we go back and correct next year's budget so you're not transferring funds around next year?
I think it'll be on the way the budget is and how it's managed. We've already approved
Well,
it.
you're already short this year, and you're already making corrections, don't you? You know,
We've
exceed
already-
that increase.
We've already approved the budget, so. All right, I need a motion to approve the, sorry, I have a second, first and a second. Do I have, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passed. I'm now gonna need a approval of claims. I need a motion to approve the claims.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on the approval of claims? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, now we'll get to the engineer's report from Jacob at BF&S. Welcome, Jacob.
Just two projects to report on, the first being Blackhawk Beach. As stated in the last meeting, the field survey has been completed. We processed that data and just taken a look at it and come up with a couple options for some drainage solutions there. We'll have some exhibits and whatnot put together within the next week, and then we'll schedule a sit down with Alicia to go through some of those options before we present them to the board. The other one is for the Edgewater project. Survey has been scheduled. It'll probably be about a month out before our crews will get out there. We did do some field reconnaissance to determine the limits of that field survey, but just in terms of availability of the crew, it'll probably be another month before we can get the guys and equipment out there. And after that, we can again come up with some feasible solutions for the guys. Short report. Happy to answer any questions if you have.
Any questions for Jacob?
I'd like to ask a question, and this might reflect back on some of the concerns people had. Is it true that we have 6 or 8 very old lift stations that might fail and need to be replaced sometime in the future?
That, I don't know. We did the stormwater report. Alicia knows much more about the stations, the sanitary stations than I do.
Well, let me ask this, if we had a lift station fail, didn't you estimate at one time that it could cost as much as $1.5 million to replace one?
Depending on the size of the station and the redundancy that you would need in place, a 3 to 5 million gallon station, you're looking at easily $1.5 million, yeah.
My concern is, even though we have, I think, maybe adequately, but intelligently planned for that possibility, we could be in really big trouble with 2 lift stations, according to what the attorney has read. I just wanted to see if I understood that correctly, that cost could come up. Our lift stations, from what I heard, are beginning to get to the point where they could age out.
Yeah, as you know, post-COVID, everything's pretty much doubled in cost in terms of construction. Most stations, the pumps and whatnot, you get about 30 years out of them. I'm not sure the age of their stations. And after 30 years with good maintenance plans, you'll get out of pumps. In terms of linear improvements, water main, sewers, you can get anywhere between 50 to 70. I'm not sure the age of your infrastructure, all of your infrastructure at this time. Just stormwater, it's something we've reported on.
Thanks.
Anything else? Thank you, David. So I'd like to add to that, a little bit as far as engineering goes. In total to date, we have, spent $357,026.21 on completed projects from 2023 to 2025. A few of them, let's see, we got, Blackhawk Beach Stormwater Project, $306,435.60. Oprah Grant, $50,000, $608.60. Our contribution. We got the, in 2024, Listenberg Ditch, $33,849.76, and that does not include, all the engineering fees. The 2024 sediment bond, $96,570.56. 2025, we get Kettle Lake, $175,997.29. It includes engineering contractors and legal services, so I say we got quite a few things accomplished within the last couple of years. Go ahead and go with Alicia and her general manager report, please.
I have the new, generator, maintenance contract here from Cliffs Heating. If we go with it before the 30th of September, it'll be $450 for a 2-year maintenance agreement. If it's after that, it'll be $500. What's pleasure?
Is that only for one generator?
It would be this newest one out here at the building.
Okay. Do we have a maintenance contract on the Generacs at the lift stations?
That's still under Manglish, and it's not up yet. That was an early spring one, so when early spring gets on. But, I'm sorry, I was just informed it's no longer Manglish, it's ABC.
Right, you better check your maintenance contract.
But it's like I said, this here is strictly on the new one from the building out here. So if you go with a 2-year maintenance contract and it's paid for before September 30th, 2025, it is for $450. If it is agreed and after September 30th, it will be $500. Again, it is a 2-year contract, year of 2026 and 2027. So it'd be September 2 September 2 years.
No brainer to me, but anyway, do I have a motion
So moved.
to get this done for September?
It's only $20, but still, every little bit helps.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved.
And the next is just an update, as some of you know, you've gotten phone calls about the plates out here on Pavement Avenue. They've been there since 2022. This is from the DNR, of course I get a copy of it. The city of Valparaiso has again applied to extend their permit to the 11th day of September 2027. So, it may not be anytime soon with those plates covered in place. So least until
Everybody knows what
nine,
she's
11,
talking about?
2027.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Right?
Yeah. Is there any explanation that went along with that?
No,
Good.
and this is from the DNR, I'm sure they gave a DNR for some reason, but this is strictly from the DNR, it's a permit, it's got been extended. Because again, that is a regulated drain within conservancy district. And that is it.
Last Friday, LAC celebrated its 50th anniversary, and from what Jacob had just mentioned, that means that our 30-year lifespan on some of our equipment perhaps is overdue. So it's appears we don't have literally millions of dollars in reserve. We hope we have enough to cover the year. Thank you, and thank you, LAC.
Christian. Before we get to our public comments from Justin, Tom Cruise, William, Schiller, Taylor, Burkholder, just want to make a statement here that's been going around. It's the same water group has claimed that saved saved 20,000 by eliminating the board. Board members are paid 100 for regular meetings and 50 for committee meetings. 20,000 is our budget. Today's date, we've spent 7,200 this year on board member salaries, estimated to be a total of 9,650 by the end of the year. That includes 3 more meetings plus 1 committee meeting. That's about half of the budgeted amount. And next year, we expect more committee meetings because the project's happening in 2026. Another claim, why can't we just pay the city for water if it's the same water? On October 20th, 1976, VLACD signed an agreement to buy water from the city of Valparaiso Utilities. Within the agreement, VLACD is socially responsible for any cost repairs and maintenance of the water lines within VLACD territory. Claim that turn the water and sewer operations over to VLACD, to operating the city utilities. You can't just give Valpo the water and sewer. You would have to sell it after the circuit court judge concludes that the district no longer serves the purpose for which it was formed. Claim that savings of $250 per year. I'm guessing this is per resident. If bought by Valparaiso City Utilities, VCU would have to pay millions to buy the water and sewer department. They have to hire more employees. They'd be responsible for all the water, sewer lines, valves, lift stations, backflows, replacements of meters, and other disasters that they have. These lift stations are close to 40 years old. They approximately anywhere from 250,000 to 700,000 to replace. This is not an all-inclusive list of costs of operating water and sewer. They would have to raise rates to cover these costs because they would no longer be guaranteed full payment on time of water and sewer from LAC Utilities. Claim that if you cut the board from 7 to 3, improving accountability and fairness, well, one, you wouldn't have a quorum, and the 7 board members are voted in with their respective districts. These are individuals who represent their area's best interest. How would reducing the board from 7 to 3 better represent a district of this size? Bear with me here. The residents pay VLACD $300,000 annually. The $300,000 goes towards you and the stormwater projects and maintenance on all storm drains, flooding issues, and equipment. Or you could pay a higher tax to the city of Valparaiso and have 1 in 35,000 voice about where your money goes. Claim that you would save $200,000 in vague contractual services This line item in the budget is for stormwater projects approved by the board as part of a 5-year plan. These stormwater project expenses were approved based on 2023 estimates, even though the pricing has increased since that time. The claim that no willingness to talk at board meetings and no debate, no solutions, it's untrue. The motion in question was motion to have a meeting with the city of Valpo to get a bulk rate. The motion may not have passed first try, but it did pass later in that meeting. The general manager was given the authority by the board to start proceedings with the city of Valparaiso. This process does not happen overnight, but it is a process in the making. This is the importance of staying for the entire meeting to get the whole story. Another claim of big city of Valparaiso, the outside rate, and not the annexed into Valparaiso. How? Who does the repairs, processes, and the payments, read the meters, and manages the accounts? Claim that VLACD charges 42% more than Valparaiso City Utility for the exact same water. That is incorrect. VLACD charges roughly 20% more than the outside VCU rate. This covers repairs, maintenance, employees, equipment. VLACD is 38% more than inside VCU rate. Inside VCU rate payers also pay higher taxes. A claim that VLACD has the second highest water rates in the state of Indiana. This is not correct. Chesterton, Gary, Hobart, Maryville, Portage, Porter, South Haven, Lowell, to name a few, all have higher water rates than VLACD. Nature Works Conservancy District, which is Aberdeen and Dayton Run, those conservancy districts, which were recently bought by the city of Valparaiso, have higher than VLACD sewer rates. I'd like to move on to the public participation with Justin McCurdy.
On that section, my questions were answered by the attorney, so we can go to the next person.
William Schiller.
Did you skip Tom Cruise?
No.
Oh, okay, you just picked one. Oh, fine. First of all, thank you for allowing myself to speak.
Thank you.
My question might have been covered in something you just gave us a lot of detail on, and that is, why do we need to purchase water from VLAC instead of directly from the city of Valpo?
Want to answer further? You should want to answer anything further on that comment or question?
I'm sorry, the only thing I can answer on it is right now we're under contract. We've been under contract for 50 years. The best I can do is, as stated, I was tasked with trying to at least get a wholesale or bulk rate with the city of Valparaiso. However, that's a little above my pay grade. That's why we tasked the attorney to try to do so. I think he will be a little bit more attuned to being able to do that in a much better manner than myself.
And what Dave Hollenbeck has tried that many years ago, and it's not.
There was several years in the early 90s and some as much as in the early 80s and in the 90s. And it was asked for a bulk rate, different things. There was one concession that I can find so far, and that's where they recoded a meter over in Ridgewood Creek. Technically, it's a 6-inch water meter. It's one of the meters that supplies us water. They recoded it to a 4-inch meter because little to no water goes through that one. And of course, we have to pay a minimum bill just like anybody else. So they did give us that type of rate, from 6 to 4, and we have been paying that for several years. But other than that, they've not given anything else thus far. Doesn't mean it won't happen.
Thank you, Michelle. Did you say it was a contract with the city of Valpo?
Yes.
Does it have an expiration date?
No.
I know you weren't here when it was done.
I wasn't here, but no, it does not have an expiration date.
It just renews forever into perpetuity?
Well,
I don't think this attorney would let that
I
happen.
say until another water company can come in and
Oh.
possibly produce water that could be bought from them. But, right now, they are the only water supplier.
Okay.
Comments, William?
No, I think we've covered it well. Thanks for the input and the details.
Thank you. Taylor Burkle.
Yes, thank you for letting me speak. My name is Taylor Burkholder. I represent the families in the Woodmere subdivision, where my family and I reside and purchase LAC water. Some of the questions that I had on here were addressed, but I do want to know if other people are aware that there's also a minimum that's charged. So if someone moves in 2 days before the statement is cut, they get a high bill anyway, even if they only took 1 shower. I don't think that's fair. The snowbird who's gone for 3 months, all winter long, and don't use a drop of water, they are still going to pay a water bill every 3 months. Yes, they do. I talked to LAC. Yes, they do.
If their water is shut off and they notify us, they receive no bill whatsoever.
But then they have to pay to shut off their water.
No, ma'am, we've never charged anybody to shut their water off.
That's what I've been told.
Again, since June of 2022, that has not happened.
Okay, well,
Do you know
I
who
just
told you-
moved
do you know who
there.
told you that?
The woman who's at the front desk. I just moved in 5 months ago, or 6 months ago. So I was only in several days before the statement cut, and we had a very high statement. And so I brought it down and asked, why is this so high? We haven't had a chance to barely use our water. And
And yet, she was correct when she told you you had to pay
Yeah.
the minimum bill.
Yes.
What we do suggest is for people to try, we read on the 15th of every month. So. if
I mean, I
people-
have no control over when I bought my house and when I moved
understand,
in.
we have a
so.
lot of people that rent their
Mhm.
homes, so we have some that we've actually explained, if you will put it there will not be a minimum bill charged for 3 or 4 days. But a minimum does have to be charged to everyone. It all goes back to the same thing. Where do you
Right.
stop or where do you start? So that's why there is a minimum bill, just as well as with NIPSCO or any other utility.
Well, the city of Valpo doesn't do that. The city of Valpo never charged us the minimum. We've moved several houses within Valpo, and the city has never charged us for water we did not use. Also, I mean, you're talking about your budget, and I'm not disputing that the line items on your budget are things that you need money for. To your point, there are things that are going to be replaced. They might cost $1 million a piece, and there could be up to 6 of them coming up soon. It sounds like that this is a heavy undertaking, but the city is much bigger. They have much bigger reserves. I don't understand why we have to pay for the operation and the building and the repaving of a parking lot and people's salaries when this could be sold to the city and we could pay less. I know you're saying we would end up paying
Have you
more.
asked the city if they're interested in buying this?
Um,
Yeah.
Are you interested in selling? Because I'll call the mayor tonight.
They've never approached us.
Okay, so if the mayor called you, would you say, yes, I'm interested in selling? That's what I'm asking you right now.
I can't answer that question. It's
Well, why not? You put me on the spot. You
Excuse me.
said,
Excuse me, it's not just up to me, okay?
okay, but I'm asking you. I'm not saying it's a vote right now, but I'm saying you put me on the spot and said, oh, has the city asked you?
Really?
That's
I
what you
don't-
just did.
I don't believe.
You
I
asked
did.
me if the city asked me.
So if you can't keep order,
Okay.
I'm done. So if you have any more questions,
I have a statement.
let's be respectful,
Okay.
please.
I apologize that 47% of families that go to Flint Lake Elementary School are on reduced or free lunches.
Okay?
These are the families that need that extra money in their pocket. And there's money that could be put back in the pocket if the VLAC would sell and the city would take care of these issues. They have a much bigger budget. They have more resources. And as you know, a bigger company can do things at less cost than a smaller company can. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. All right, we have, Tom Bruce.
Hi.
Hey, Tom.
approved the 3 phases to run the water main from Walden across Burlington Beach Road into Ridgewood Creek. The first 2 phases are complete. Is there any schedule or thought process of finishing it anytime soon? I mean, at this point, the only, Ridgewood Creek is only fed by that one connection.
Wasn't that
District.
Mickey, the loop?
Pardon me?
Yeah.
I'm just saying to Mickey.
Yeah, that would loop the system and would make it a better water system, and that was why it was started. I was worried.
There was a reason why it wasn't completed.
Well, I would imagine it was cost at the
Right.
time, but I don't know where it stands. And gosh darn it, I just thought I'd ask while I was here. So, you can look into that. That's right, I don't expect any answer today. However, there's been that, not a petition, but a flyer that was sent around about liquidating VLACD. At first, a little history here. If this group did not exist, everybody out here would still be on well water and septic systems. This is the honest truth, that this group was formed in a way to provide sewer services and a reliable water service to all the people that live out here. And they've done a remarkable job of that. I served on this board for a long time, and we made countless decisions to make that system better while trying to keep the costs at a minimum. It was always the way everybody operated, and I'm sure it's still that way today. So to just discard them and say, well, let the Valparaiso Water Department take care of it, seems to be rather short-sighted. 2 reasons. First of all, you guys have something in your charter for lake enhancement. If we give this to the Valparaiso Water Department, I see people shaking their heads. I know this for a fact. The lake enhancement is part of this board, is part of their charter. No, it isn't. Okay, is there in our charter, does it say that there's a proviso for lake enhancement? Yes or no? Okay.
It's stormwater.
Okay, I thought it said, I thought it used to say lake enhancement. Okay, all right, well, then it was changed. However, that would lead me to the second provision, is if this board went away, all of a sudden, there's nobody here to take care of the lakes. All of a sudden, all of us who live around here are gonna end up paying a county stormwater management fee that we don't pay now because this board elected to take care of it. And when we get that bill, guess what? All that money's not going here. All that money in the county is headed to South Haven to fix that spot. Unless it's already fixed, but I doubt it. Yeah, that's where it's all gonna go. So that is something that we have to think about. And if we get rid of this board and close LAC, the question about the water projects, who's gonna do that? Do you really think that the Valparaiso Water Department would come out here and do that for us? It sounds like a good idea to save a little money, but the money that you're gonna save, you're gonna spend in stormwater fees. So that's a push. It makes no financial sense to me. And it seems very short-sighted. I think we'll end up shooting ourselves in the foot. You disagree, but we'll talk later, but I still disagree. So I've advised most of the people that asked me about this that that's exactly how I feel. So that's my opinion today. Thank you, Tom.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
good.
one quick comment. And that is that the elephant in the room, what I see the biggest problem of all, is that if there was some movement toward switching our utilities to the city of Valparaiso, and needed to be annexed, which I believe that a lot of these homes would pay way more in taxes, so that any savings, if there were any, I don't think there would be, could be multiplied in the loss of additional
Right.
taxes without it taken.
Order, please. You're not, nobody's asking you a question.
I'm not speaking, talking to my colleagues.
You know you're not.
Factual information.
If you can't listen, then you can leave. Continue, Walter, please.
That's my point. I don't know that anybody has any idea how much more your taxes would be if your home was in the city limits of Valparaiso. My guess is at least double, if not more.
Thank you, Walter.
Can I make my statement? I believe I was on there twice. The first was when I submitted my questions. The second was the statement.
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm coming before you tonight to share some concerns about actions and policies of this board. In July 25th, 2025, a notice on the website said, if you have concerns, bring them to the board meeting, or better yet, ask the hard questions directly. We're here for it. This was also posted on Nextdoor, and a hashtag transparency matters was used. I agree, transparency does matter. Let's ask the hard questions, and better yet, let's answer them. I've attended a few meetings over the years and asked questions. When asking about rate increases, it was thrown on the young consultant to try to reply. The board did not answer at all. When asking questions at the budget meeting a few months ago, there weren't really any answers to any of the reasonable questions asked as to how much is this going to cost the average ratepayer in the district, and why is this increase needed. This board and organization continues to seek to hide, discourage participation, and to do the legal minimum required by state statute. The public participation rules and guidelines seem noble, yet create a process that discourages participation and discourse. I don't believe the city or the county require everything to be submitted in advance and approved before they can come and take public comment. And they govern a lot more people than this conservancy does. Similarly, when my HOA holds a board meeting, they're held accountable on the spot to answer questions. They don't ask and say you can only ask questions if you submit them in advance. Additionally, the bare minimum is done to provide notice about special meetings, budget meetings, etc. I did discuss this with Alicia last week, and she has mentioned she is going to work on trying to do a better job of posting them on the website or using the alerts that people sign up for. Even though there may only be 150 people signed up for your email alerts, those are at least 150 people trying to be engaged and trying to understand what is going on with the Conservancy District. So the minimum
It's
you can do.
120.
Okay, 120. So the minimum you could do is send out an email blast. You know, but we got messages about fish being caught, pavement temperatures for pet paws, and that post that was made on the website was sent out as an alert as well. And I imagine that was done pretty timely. So it seems to be that alerts can be sent out in a timely manner. So why not do that? Why hide and do the minimum? How many of you drive by the VLACD office just for fun to see if there's a notice posted? I don't. My bill's on autopay. I can look at it online. I have no need to stop by the office.
I agree, and Alicia had also agreed with,
Okay?
right?
And, you know, regularly, how many of you regularly receive a newspaper, the other place where you've mentioned it's posted? Not many people do. So I'm asking you to do better. Post it online. Put it on your website. Engage with your homeowners associations that you represent or that are part of the territory that you represent. As a member of Wild Rose, Dick has done a great job of actually engaging us as a homeowners association and helping us understand what's going on here. So I ask you to do better for yourselves and the residents that you serve. Be transparent, answer questions, and go above the minimum. Thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?